Good evening from HTV News. 2,000 jobs are at risk in South Wales tonight after Marks and Spencer pulled out of a long-term contract with one of its clothing suppliers. The William Baird Group has 7 factories here, mainly in the valleys. Our business editor Nick Partridge has been gathering reaction to today's events.
These clothing workers at Pyle are among 2,000 at 7 different factories in Wales who clocked off today not knowing how much longer they'd have a job.
Devastated. They are devastated.
It's very upsetting.
Baird have given Marks and Spencer's 30 years service, and this is how they treated them.
Machinists here and at factories at Bargoed, Merthyr Tydfil, New Tredegar and Port Talbot now join colleagues at Maesteg and Pontardawe who've been warned they could all soon be out of work. That's because Marks and Spencer has ended a 30-year contract with their employer William Baird to supply children's clothes, trousers and lingerie to M&S stores. The company boss had this message for workers today.
My message is that I will do all that I can over the next weeks in discussion with Marks and Spencer's to try to save as much employment as we can.
The GMB union has also pledged today to do all it can to save as many jobs as possible.
We have to remain optimistic, and the discussions that will take place in the next days and weeks with the company and hopefully with Marks and Spencer's, let's hope that there's a glimmer of light somewhere.
M&S said today it's having to take action because its own profits and sales are down. That means it's reducing the number of suppliers and looking to source more of its goods from cheap labour factories in the Far East. It's all an unfortunate consequence of increasing competition on the high street. Nick Partridge, HTV News.
Council bosses from across Wales exchanged angry words with First Secretary Alan Michael this afternoon over plans to raise the council tax by £54. Many officials are unhappy about the increase, which would be across the board. Mark Hannaby reports.
There wasn't much love lost between council chiefs and assembly leaders on an afternoon which heard the latter institution described as a glorified county council. It wasn't a compliment. Council bosses are upset that no matter how well or badly they've managed their affairs, they're being asked to put council tax up by over 9% next year. That's around £54 on average. And in all likelihood, they'll be asked to put it up by a further 10% the year after that.
Looks like 10% year-on-year increases. It'll mean an average of £14 a week in council tax in Wales, and I think that is going to hurt a lot of people.
But at the same time, we're developing a new formula, and I hope out of the new formula will become a much sounder local government structure in Wales.
Local Government Secretary Peter Law agreed this was unpalatable, but, well, it's a cruel old world.
And we are working on, tight figures on a comprehensive spending review figure. So it's not easy, and I don't anticipate that that will be an easy path to follow. But obviously the points that have been made will be taken into account, and I will submit them for discussion in the right places in the future.
Council bosses didn't seem too reassured by the First Secretary. I always listen in a positive manner, he told them. It's one of my chief characteristics. Whether this will change the council tax proposals remains to be seen. Mark Hannaby, HTV News.
Neath Port Talbot Council has suspended 3 top officials, including its Director of Education, over concerns about its school meals tendering process. The authority was in the spotlight earlier this week over allegations that Anas Mardi School had invented pupils in order to attract more money. Former pupils of Tanavron School in Wrexham who died during the 2 world wars were remembered today at the launch of this year's Wales Poppy Appeal. Children laid a wreath during a remembrance service attended by trumpeters from the band of the Royal Lifeguards. Tomorrow sees one of the biggest games in Welsh rugby history, and it's been very much a tale of 2 build-ups this week. Even today in the Australian camp, it's been a case of business as usual. They, of course, are used to the big stage. Wales, though, have been keeping a lower profile, as our sports correspondent Giles Smith reports.
Very much a private day at the team hotel, relaxation the order of the day. Earlier, though, an acknowledgement of the size of the task ahead.
It's going to be one of the biggest games we've ever played, especially lads together. It's going to be immense, and if we play to the best of our ability, we might be in the show, but if we don't, then we won't be near it.
We know it's a big task ahead of us on Saturday against the Australians, and we're just trying to focus on that game and hopefully come out victorious. But it's going to be a very difficult encounter.
It's a big game. You know, there's no comebacks now. It's either we stay in or we go out. We're going to throw everything into this game as if it is our cup final Saturday.
You know, it's a big game for us. It's going to be a massive game. It's going to be a lot of intensity in the match. You know, a lot of pressure on both sides. I suppose a lot more pressure maybe on Australia than ourselves because they'd expected to win. So, you know, we'll go in as firm underdogs, which maybe suits us a lot better.
I think as long as we all play to our best ability, we'll do very well. They are a good team and they've hit some form recently. But I'm sure that if we play well and we're right up there, then we'll give them a good game.
Tonight there was rugby action of a different kind in the Welsh-Scottish League. Cardiff beat Glasgow Caledonians by 36 points to 25, a 3-try burst midway through the second half, mostly to thank for that win. While Newport beat Llanelli by 26 points to 20, their first win at Stratty Park in 21 years. But it was marred by concussion to Damien Cummins after a head-high tackle. There was also football action, of course, tonight. Swansea taking on Rochdale in a Division 3 clash at the Vetch. It looked like being a goalless tie until Nick Cusack hit the back of the net in the 86th minute, giving the Swans that 1-0 victory. Well, that's it for now. Don't forget, you can see tomorrow's Wales-Australia quarter-final clash live and exclusive here on HTV. But for now, from all of us here, have a very good night. Bye-bye.
HTV Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
Hello there. Well, from the weather point of view, we've certainly got the better day of the weekend for the Wales-Australia quarter-final. All the same, there's every chance of a heavy shower during the game on Saturday, and it's windy but mild, at least up to 16 Celsius by mid-afternoon. This unsettled weekend weather is all due to a low-pressure system centred just off Ireland, feeding in a moist but mild airflow, and during tomorrow that low moves closer to the British Isles, ending up over the West Country by Sunday lunchtime. All those isobars mean some gale-force gusts of wind at times through the Bristol and English channels, and that weather front is promising some heavy, steady rainfall as well, the worst of it affecting central southern England and southeast Wales on Sunday morning, but the whole of Wales seeing some very wet weather at some point. Meanwhile, there are plenty of raindrops on the weather map for tonight as well. More northern parts of Wales in with a better chance of thinner cloud cover and lighter showers perhaps. Temperatures overnight holding up between 10 and 12 Celsius, so mild enough, but a blustery, showery start to Saturday morning, and still, of course, that strong southerly wind. Rather a north-south split, in fact, tomorrow. Some heavy showers over Snowdonia, but on the whole, more glimpses of sunshine and a scattering of lighter showers for northern counties, a greater risk of thunder for the southern half of the country. Some gale-force gusts of wind around our Bristol Channel and Irish Sea coast tomorrow, something to bear in mind if you're joining in the Cardigan Festival of Walking. And if you're joining the walk from Aberporth along Cardigan Bay, you're more than likely to need your waterproofs too. The model and toy swap meet on at Chepstow Leisure Centre tomorrow is a more weatherproof activity, which is just as well because there are plenty of showers in the forecast, and it's the same story for Mochtre in Powys too. Some sunnier moments as well for all those places though, at least. At the top of the list, a brighter day with fewer showers for Downing, close to the Dee Estuary, and Dolbenmain in Gwynedd. Temperatures throughout somewhere between 15 and 17 Celsius. And as for Sunday, well, a much cloudier day with that heavy rain during the morning, showers in the afternoon. Have a great weekend.
The HTV 7-day weather line, 09064 777 077. HTV Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories.